this is the final one in the series. We've reached number 5. Thank you everyone that has watched all previous 4. If you were on the edge of your seat for number 4, you are now off the chair for number 5 as I lose the chair. So again, just a very quick recap, but all of the links are in the description box anyway. But number 1, go shopping. Number 2, time to value. Number 3, security. Number 4, customer service with the ITAM tool. And also we kind of expanded that as well to like network and find out what other customers have experienced with SLAs and support and all that kind of jazz. So drum roll, please. The 5th step when implementing an ITAM tool, the 5th bit of advice from Lauren Smith. What is it?
I'm going to keep you on the edge of your seat there, because technology in itself might not be enough to drive your SAM strategy.
What?
At some point, you might also need services.
What? But it's a silver bullet, Lauren. It does everything.
No. People, process, and technology. So because technology in itself might not be enough, you might need these services. So it's helpful to have someone who knows you and the software so that they can really jump in and help. So the question I would be asking is, can you get services direct with your tool vendor, or would you have to go through a third party? So how strong is your partnership going to be? Services may be somewhat in the future for your organization, and you might not be thinking about that right now, but actually now's the time to be considering it up front when you're purchasing your ITAM technology, because you've got to look at your ITAM technology and then who's going to provide those services. Do they work with multiple other vendors and therefore they're working in multiple solutions? Or are you going to go somewhat to the vendor itself and build that real strong partnership because you're actually buying product and services from the vendor? And if you're doing that, are you going to get a better partnership than if you went for a third party? Or is a third party sort of a little bit, more flexible because you don't really want too much of a service? But if you really want a full strategic partnership and collaborative, maybe going to the vendor directly is where you want to start.
Interesting. And do you know what? It's almost as if you've watched my recent IBM video, which again, I'll put a cheeky link to, which is where we were discussing that it's very similar, right? In that ITAM technologies can be complicated. IBM licensing is ridiculously complicated. It comes back to, okay, you are a bit put off by the service cost or a consultant's cost to help you with that. However, in the long term, it's going to cost you more time and money because you personally haven't got the time, the capacity, the knowledge, the skill set or whatever to really optimize either like IBM licensing in this example or the ITAM technology itself. So I think, in that advice, we're saying like, don't be put off by the initial costings, right? There's a lot of value and there's no shame in going to your CIO, your CTO, your boss, whatever, and saying, look, I'm a 1-2 person ITAM team. This implementation, maintaining this ITAM tool, it's going to take a lot of time, a lot of bandwidth. And, I've never really used this tool before. I'm not sure how to make sure that the licensing metrics are right. I'm not sure how to do an ELP in the tool. I don't know how to maintain it, right? There's no shame in reaching out for that help and saying, I'm going to need additional services and support in order to do this.
So you've captured there one arm of services, but also there's very, very few people, in my experience in SAM, that know Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, SAP to the full extent that you have to. You're usually specialized in one or at least, one or two, right? So actually your skill set might not be suitable for the one piece of work that you've got coming up for a different complex vendor. And again, there's no shame in admitting that, because no one in ITAM would expect you to know all 4 complex licensing metrics and keep up with them, keep up to date with their terms and conditions and EULAs and everything else. It's just not practical. So actually what you're specialized in, you might need help with what you're not specialized in.
Yeah, no offense to anyone out there that does love the licensing and, loves the top 5 vendors and reads all their EULAs and stuff, but it's a niche. It's complicated. And yeah, I mean, I openly say to anyone, and I say it all the time, like when I go into clients or when I've been a manager before, I don't know licensing anywhere near as much as some of these gurus do, right? They've dedicated their careers to, exactly like you said, Microsoft, Oracle, IBM, SAP, etc. They know so much about it that, yeah, I would no problem in going, right, I've got an SAP problem. Who can help out with this? This company can, this consultant can, off you go, come in and help us and do it. Because, yeah, it's not, I'm not going to say it's not worth, but it's not my area of expertise. It's not what I spend my time doing. It's not what I've got knowledge or previous experience in doing. You can do the basics, right, on the SAPs and the IBMs. Microsoft a bit more. Yeah, I'm good at Microsoft. But the point is, you can't be afraid to go and get the help. And so why are people not afraid to go and get licensing consulting help and support? But when it comes to an ITAM tool, there seems to be a lack of wanting to reach out and help and get services.
And that's where different services at different levels come in. There are these licensing services out there. There are ITAM services, and there's a hybrid of the both. You can get combined services, but you can also get top tier services, but you can also get services that, like you say, help you with your entitlement in terms of putting it into your ITAM solution, understanding your generic licensing, your tier 2, tier 3 license compliance position, and adding process around them. You've got them coming up for renewal. Are they being utilized? So again, it's not because you can't do it. It's because you don't have the capacity, because there's not enough hours in the day. And whilst you might not need a full-time person, you still need some of that support. So it's a kind of hybrid method of, don't go and employ someone full-time, take out a service that can really help you prioritize and help you along your way, so you can get some of the things identified and remediated.